what the heck would gumbo be if they stopped trying to make it after the first time they made it and it didn't turn out right? And you know it didn't turn out the way it is now, right? The first time they made gumbo, there's like no way that it tasted the way gumbo tastes today. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my husband's occasion contracting with one of the largest investment firms in the country about 2 years ago during the pandemic, and he's a chef, so they were contracting him to teach their team, a couple hundred people, on a WebEx how to make gumbo. And so here's the secret to the story. My husband, actually it wasn't even gumbo, it was jambalaya, right? We went with jambalaya because jambalaya is easier to make in a short period of time. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's a one pot rice dish. And it's pretty standardized. Like, you're not gonna go way off the beaten path for jambalaya. At any rate, we're making jambalaya, but here's the secret to the story. My husband makes jambalaya and doctors up a box that he gets from the store. And he's talent and I'm production in our house. So as we're going through this, we're practicing, right? And we're just, practicing the moves and the flow of it. And he says, well, we'll just use the box. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, these people are not coming to learn how to make jambalaya from a box. So now, if you know anything about photography, I'm trying to figure out how to get the jambalaya to look a certain way on camera, because anyone that does any kind of photography knows that the food does not show up the way you want it to by just using the food, okay? All right, so we'll keep going. So we practice on, Facebook, on doing an event. We practiced it at home. We ate jambalaya for easily 4 weeks before this thing took place. We practiced with the team at this investment firm, not once, but twice, to be sure that all things were go, right? Production's good, technology's working, it's showing up the way we want it to show up, and it's within the time frame that was allotted. Long story short, we get to the show, we get to the day of the event, which was Mardi Gras, that Tuesday, and we can't get in. Like, we're locked out of WebEx for whatever reason, right? Okay, so anyone that has worked with Fortune 500 companies knows if you're locked out of WebEx, you're not going around, there's no back door, you're not doing all that. So we've got this whole production of the food down, but we can't get in the WebEx. So I start taking pictures and video of the food and sending it to the host, so to speak, so he can upload it in the group that they're in. My husband's doing the old-fashioned thing, talking into the phone and not knowing whether people are sleeping or have left the kitchen or whatever they're doing. Fortunately, it worked out okay. But at the end of the day, first of all, I was like, okay, wow, that actually worked. That was great. But I was talking to someone and they were saying, I've tried to make gumbo or jambalaya once and it didn't turn out right. And I didn't try it again. And I was like, what if our ancestors tried something and they just didn't try it again? And they're like, this gumbo doesn't taste good and I'm not gonna ever make this again, right? We would miss out on gumbo, jambalaya. We would miss out on all the things, okay? At the end of the day, my only message is it may not work out right the first time or the second time or the 10th time. But if you know in your heart and in your head that this thing is a thing, you have it, keep going. Just keep going. Think about everything that's come before you, people that kept going, people that refined and adjusted their processes so that when they got to their end in mind goal of having a phenomenal dish, or it could be a certain level of freedom or right to vote, whatever it is that triggers you to say, let me keep going, keep going. Could be food, could be freedom, whatever it is, it's your thing. Keep it in your heart, keep it in your head, and keep going. Everything worked out, but I really just think to myself, what if when people were making things, they decided it doesn't taste right, so I'm not gonna ever make it again. All right, have a great Fat Tuesday. Happy Mardi Gras.